Life could be a dream. Life could be a dream. Do 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 shaboom.
As I'm recording this, it is April 14th. We flew in on Wednesday, April 3rd. We are here in St. Petersburg, Florida. We moved across the country from Phoenix, Arizona, and it has been quite the hectic few weeks, and I just want to give you guys a step-by-step process of every single thing that we did to move, so to maybe help some of you guys that are doing big moves. And I definitely gotta say, it is not for the weak. It is pretty exhausting and money draining, but when you want to move to the place that you actually want to live at, it is well worth it. So first off, this is not an ad, but I would like to say I could not have done this move without using the Notion app. It is an app where you can create your own templates for task lists and reminders and basically organizing your life. And it was a little difficult to learn how to use, but once I learned how to use it, it became pretty easy, and it just really helped us with this move because it had the step-by-step process of everything we needed to do, when we needed to do it, and you can go in and make notes, comments, and stuff like that. And I could even add my wife onto it as well, so she can see too the things that we need to do. So that was so helpful. So I suggest when you guys are moving, find some sort of app or note-taking something to help you create a task list, to figure out how, or to do things that you need to do before you make your big move. If you haven't watched my previous vlog, it kind of explains why we decided to make this a cross-country move, why we chose St. Petersburg, Florida, why we chose to leave Phoenix, Arizona. So if you want to go watch that too, you can, if you're interested in Florida at all, or if you're just curious. So go watch that there. This video is primarily going to be about how we accomplished the move. So I'm just literally going to go task by task on my Notion template that I created. If you guys want this template, let me know, and I could possibly put this template in the description, and you guys will have a nice organized task list template for your guys' move. And you can even, it doesn't even have to be for moving, it could be for anything in your life, whether it's wedding planning or anything else like that. Run away. So the first thing was, of course, to sign a lease to an apartment here in St. Petersburg. So we came out here in January of 2024 to literally just look at apartments. We looked at so many, and we finally found the one that we wanted. So I think a couple months prior to us moving, we signed the lease, so that was all good and go, and we had a place to move into once we moved here. So I suggest that you do that first, so that you know that you actually have a place to stay before you decide to make any sort of big moving decisions. And next was to, of course, let our current apartment in Phoenix know that we were not going to be renewing our lease, because as a lot of you probably know, you have to give your apartments like 60 to 90 days notice that you're not going to be moving in, or you could be getting some big fees for not letting them know. Next was to schedule a U-Pack, which is like pods. It's basically a shipping container where you can put all of your stuff in, and they will ship it to your new destination. So we first were thinking about just doing a U-Haul and taking the long drive from Phoenix to St. Pete, and it was going to be like a 5-day drive, and we realized that it actually wasn't going to be any much cheaper to do that when you add up like the gas, the cost of the U-Haul, the hotels, the food, just everything like that was just going to add up, and we realized there's going to be just as much to do that versus just flying here and getting all of our stuff shipped in. I know that requires some sort of trust in these companies to get your stuff to your destination, but we really did not want to do that super long drive, and I would have had to use a lot of PTO days with work as well, so that would have been a bummer too, to have to use all those, and it just would have added a bigger level of exhaustion to the trip when we're already tired as is, trying to just get everything moved and settled. So when we realized that, we just made the decision to fly in, book a one-way ticket, and get our stuff shipped to our new apartment here in St. Pete. So we scheduled a U-Pack. We heard great things about U-Pack, so we decided to go with them, and U-Pack was a really great experience. They you basically book the day you want them to come, and I think they give you like a range of days that they will come, like a 5-day range. But once you get closer to that date, they'll actually give you a specific day that they will come. So we just had to make sure we had a parking spot open in our apartment complex. And the guy came. He has a big truck, but then he has a forklift as well. So we got the forklift to pick up the U-Pack to bring into the complex, and he just put it right into our parking spot. It was nice and smooth, and then he left. And then so basically you have to you pack up your U-Pack, but then you have to call U-Pack and 24 hours before you want it to be picked up. So we had the U-Pack delivered to our apartment on Wednesday, March 27th, and we wanted it to be picked up on March 29th, so it would already kind of be on the way to Florida before we eat, and it gets a head start. So once we got to Florida, we wouldn't have to wait too long for our U-Pack to get here. So we packed our stuff on that Thursday, the 28th, and then called them, and they came on the 29th to pick up the U-Pack, and that was a very smooth process as well. Basically the same kind of process as when they dropped it off. They just brought the forklift in, picked it up, put it on their truck, and it was on the way to St. Petersburg. And so that was a pretty nice, smooth process. You're able to track your U-Pack in the website, so we liked that as well. We did also put an Apple AirTag in the U-Pack just in case it got lost or something. I don't know if it ever would have, but just for that added security, we put that Apple AirTag in there right by the front door of the U-Pack, so we can easily get a signal, and that kind of worked. It wasn't like perfect, but every once in a while we would get a ping that the location changed on the AirTag, so we were kind of able to track it that way as well. But it actually came way faster than we even thought. Our move-in day for our apartment here in St. Petersburg was April 5th, and that's the day that it came in. We thought it was going to be much later, like April 10th or something like that, or even later. So we were shocked and pretty happy too that our U-Pack came in on the same day as we were moving into our apartment. So that was very nice. And it was the same process really at our new apartment. He came in with the truck, got the forklift, dropped it off into one of the parking spots in our apartment complex. And so we were able to open it up. We booked some movers here in St. Petersburg to help us get all the stuff out of the U-Pack, and that was really helpful too, getting those movers. And so pretty seamless process. Then you call them, call U-Pack, 24 hours later they come and they pick up the emptied pod from you. So yeah, really great experience with U-Pack. I would give that a 10 out of 10 experience. I really don't think it could have gone any better. The only thing is, like, you do need to make sure that your stuff is tied down securely in the U-Pack. So yeah, it just seems like a couple non-fragile things fell out. I already picked up, but I did have this bin right here. Thankfully there was nothing too fragile in it. It seemed to have tipped over and opened up, and we'll be able to pick this up just fine. Everything else seems to be in place, so it seems like a bin here fell over too, but it seems to still be closed, so that's good. But yeah, get these ropes. Very important that you get these, because if I didn't have these, I feel like everything would have just like came forward after opening the door. So very important to get a bunch of these to these ratcheting tie downs to tie down. We used like 6 of them, top 1, 2, 3, and there's like 3 more down there as well, so very important to get things like this. There were a few of my wife's mugs in one of the boxes that did break, unfortunately. You do have to make sure all of your glass is very, very securely wrapped with paper, bubble wrap, anything you can find to wrap all of your fragile stuff as much as you can, because they do unfortunately sometimes break. So I think like 3 of my wife's mugs broke or something like that. She probably knows the answer to that, but that was a little unfortunate, but thankfully nothing too crazy broke. It was just like a couple things, couple bins opened up, but for the most part, a lot of the stuff stayed secure. Next thing was to schedule a car shipper, so we did a book with a company called Sherpa Auto Transport. We heard about them on TikTok and we saw a lot of good reviews on them, and so we trusted them to take our cars as well. We have 2 cars that we had to ship from Phoenix, and so we booked them, and it is kind of the same process as U-Pack. When you get closer to the moving dates, they book a driver for you, and he calls you up, lets you know when he's gonna get there, and then when he gets there, he puts both of your cars on a tow truck, and the driver that was booked with us, he was actually the same driver that drove all the way from Phoenix to Florida, and he said he does that a lot. So I was shocked. I thought they kind of like handed off to multiple drivers, but it was actually that one driver that took it from Phoenix, Arizona to St. Petersburg, Florida, 2,000 something miles. So I was I was pretty shocked that he did that, but that came faster than we thought as well. That also came on Friday the 29th, and or Friday, April 5th, sorry. We were shocked too that the cars also came on the day we were moving into our apartment. We thought those cars were going to come the next week as well, so we were pretty shocked to get those cars us too. So very, very fortunate that we got both of our U-Pack and our cars on the same day of us moving into our apartment. We were very grateful for that. So, and it was a pretty smooth process. I don't think anything happened to our cars. There were no dents or scratches or anything that I saw, and so the driver seemed very trustworthy. He was very nice, and so we had a very, very great experience with Sherpa Auto Transport. So if you are looking for a car shipping company, they were great for us. Next thing was we had to book a Turo in Florida because we were honestly not too sure how long we were going to be without our cars in Florida. So we wanted to make sure we had something that we could drive around while we were here. So we really like Turo, which is an app where it's kind of like Airbnb for cars. Like you can book other people's cars. Some people have had some weird experiences with them, but we have had really nothing but pretty good experiences with Turo. We've used them quite a few times. So we really like Turo. So we booked a nice little SUV for that, and that was a pretty easy experience, and we got just like a Kia Sorento or something like that, and we picked it up at the Tampa airport when we flew in, and we did book it for a week. For starting April 3rd, but then ended up only needing it for 2 days because our cars came super fast. So thankfully, I asked the Turo host, the host of the car, if we could cancel the other days we had the car, and he said yes, and he gave us a refund for the days we didn't use, which was very, very nice. So that saved us some money, so we were grateful for that too. So nice process with that as well. Next up was to buy our one-way flights to Tampa. Thankfully, we have Chase points, and we just used some Chase miles to book our one-way flight there, and the flight was actually one of the smoothest flights that we've had in a while. There's been some pretty just weird things going on with flights lately, and we were just so grateful that we had just a nice, easy, smooth flight to Tampa, so we really liked that, booked with American, and had no issues with that. Our next step was to book an Airbnb in Florida because we actually flew into Florida a few days before our move into our apartment. We just wanted to get to Florida a couple days before our move-in, so we were able to just book an Airbnb. It wasn't too far from our apartment, so it was nice, easy. We really like Airbnb. Some people don't like Airbnb, some people do. We have actually, for the most part, had really good experiences with Airbnb, thankfully, so we pretty much book with them most of the time.
Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I've built my life around you. But time makes you bolder, even children get older, and I'm getting older too.
So our next thing we had to do, of course, was we had to pack everything. We first did just like a spring cleaning and got rid of anything that we didn't need and just cleaned out everything before we had to pack. So when we did go to pack, we could just easily just put things in boxes because we knew we were keeping everything and we didn't have to do the whole like, are we keeping, are we getting rid of, things like that. So I'm glad we did that, and also just tried to sell a lot of things, which is actually pretty difficult because we were trying to sell pretty much just as much as we possibly could because we knew this was going to be a big move and it would just be much easier just to move with less stuff. And we sold like all of our furniture except like a desk, so we basically came here with no furniture. So it has been quite the process trying to get furniture while we're here, and just trying to get the apartment furnished and stuff like that. It's been pretty hectic, but I am grateful that we did just sell our furniture because it would have been just difficult moving with those big heavy items and all the just like little items that we did not need. It got us a little money to just put towards our move, so I'm just really grateful that we did that. So packing everything is, it's tiring, but it's just what we had to do, of course, and we really made sure that we tried to have everything as secure as possible so we can get it nice and easy into the U-Pack. Next thing, of course, was we just had to change our renter's insurance to Florida. Pretty self-explanatory. We just had to cancel our insurance in Phoenix and then sign up for it in Florida, whatever company that you decide to do. And then we went on the USPS website and did our whole change of address. So we just made sure that things that were being mailed to our Phoenix address is now getting mailed to our St. Petersburg address. I feel like a lot of people forget to do that, and then all of their mail ends up at their old apartment. Like, for example, we open our mailbox here and we get all this mail from people that used to live at our address. Next up was just to cancel our Wi-Fi at our old apartment and then sign up for it at our new apartment. You just gotta call them up, tell them you're canceling, and then call the other Wi-Fi company here in Florida and just get that scheduled so they would come out here and get it set up the day that we move in. This next up, I feel like some people would maybe forget to do is to let their company know that they are moving. So whatever company that you're working for, if you are working for a company, you got to let the HR know, like, hey, like, I'm moving, like, I need to change my address, and whatever like HR software that your company uses. Mine uses Trinet. You kind of just have to go in and put your new address in there. So that's very important because the taxes are different for different states. So just remember to do that when you make your move. Also too, just changing your car insurance. We just had to call up our car insurance in Phoenix, had to cancel the one there and just sign up for a new car insurance here in Florida, and we just paid for like the 6-month premium, and so that's all good to go when you get here, because you do have to have car insurance for your car. This step I feel like I would have forgotten if I didn't have any reminders for it, but make sure just any final bills are paid at your old apartment. So like the last month's rent, the last month payment for your Wi-Fi and your electricity bill, just make sure those are just all paid and good to go, so you're not just having bills just sit there not being paid.
Being grown. I pay my bills. My bills are paid.
Also, too, we had to call APS, which is the electric company in Phoenix, and just let them know we're going to be canceling because we're moving, just so they'll shut off your electricity at your old apartment when you move out. And then under the task list, I created other lists such as like moving items needed, furniture items that we'll need for our apartment, home necessities, just like small things that you're gonna need for your home, such as soap and just everything. And then I also created a list of everywhere I just need to change my address, like with the electricity, the Wi-Fi, my employment, and things like that. So yeah, that was pretty much kind of mostly everything that we needed to do for the move, other than us, of course, having to just move into our new apartment, get everything situated. It's still a little bit hectic, but it's getting there. We're getting our stuff in order and our furniture in place. We have still like purchased some furniture, such as like our couch and bed frame, and you don't have to like unfortunately wait for stuff like that to come in. So I would suggest, if you could, possibly like purchasing furniture a little before you move in, so like when you do move in you don't really have to wait, because we're having to wait like a couple weeks for the couch, a few weeks to like a month for the bed frame, and we still have a couple more furniture pieces that we have to purchase. So just keep in mind that furniture does take a long time to ship, so just try to have something in mind that you want soon, so that you can get purchased and you don't have to wait too long, because it would be nice for us to have all of our furniture here so we can just get everything in order and then just have a nice, beautiful apartment. So yeah, that is kind of the step-by-step guide of everything you kind of need to do to make a big move across the country. If you are doing the whole flying and shipping everything, it's a little bit of a different task list if you are driving, but I really suggest the flying and shipping everything. It was just, to me, much more easier than doing the drive. Of course, if you're only going like one state away or a city away, then of course the drive makes much more sense. But if you're literally, we're like 6 or 7 states away, like it makes much more sense to just fly and ship everything. It is so much easier. The drive would have been exhausting. I've never done a drive that long, so unless you like driving and want to see all those states you're gonna pass, but we're not that great with long drives like that, so we just didn't really want to do that. But we have loved it here so far. We had one thunderstorm the other day, but it was actually not too bad, nothing crazy. But other than that, it has been shockingly beautiful weather. Like, people that live here are actually shocked, because they told me that like it actually is kind of warmer around this time, a little hotter, and actually has not been too hot. It has been in the 70s and low 80s. There has been like almost no humidity, which I'm shocked about as well. I know it's only April, and you Floridians watching this are like, just prepare yourself, it's gonna be hot and humid. So like, I know it is gonna get hot and humid sometime, but I'm just really embracing this beautiful weather while we have it. And it has just been great having this amazing weather while we're moving in, because we've been doing a lot of just moving in and out, running a lot of errands, going a lot of places. So it has just been so great having this amazing weather. We are so grateful for that. And yeah, just have been really enjoyed being here in St. Petersburg. We've just been going to the beach a couple times, exploring the city, going to coffee shops, finding our church that we want to go to, and hopefully start making some friends soon and stuff like that. So if you are near St. Petersburg or Tampa, hit me up. We'd love to connect. And just thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.